Hey, welcome to Intern Connect, the podcast where we prove the best place to launch your career might be closer than you think. I'm your host, Karen George, the program manager for Hello West Michigan. Whether you're halfway through your first internship, still figuring out what to do with your life, or just trying to find a coffee shop that isn't a 45-minute drive away, this podcast is for you. West Michigan is having a moment. From the lakeshore to downtown Grand Rapids, companies here are doing big things, and they want you to be a part of it. Each episode, we'll sit down with former interns who turned their summers into careers, local coordinators who know what it takes to stand out, and HR leaders who are actively looking for the next generation of West Michigan talent. Consider this your pregame to the West Michigan Intern Connect conference happening this June. Now let's get connected. Hello, Celeste. Thank you for joining me today on our Intern Connect podcast. How are you today?
I'm fabulous, Karen. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So, Celeste, can you start off by telling us a little bit about your career journey? Talk us through beginning to where you are now and how that journey has taken you.
Absolutely. So my career began at my undergrad through Davenport University. I actually wanted to go education, and I pivoted a little bit to that and so I went towards healthcare. And healthcare for me was a big space that needed people, and I really wanted to work in pediatric kids learning. And so I thought healthcare would be a good fit. Turns out I want to do more of the bigger picture things when it came to the workforce, right? So then I actually did my undergrad degree of health service administration with an HR focus, and I interned for the director of cancer and hematology centers of Western Michigan, the HR director, and it had changed the trajectory of my career right then and there. Once I sat in the room with HR, I knew that's what I wanted to do because HR touches a little bit of everything in the organization, but isn't quite responsible for anything specifically sometimes. So it's a really nice way to have a piece of the pie without having too much in the fridge, right? From there, I went back for my MBA at Davenport University, and now I currently serve as the organizational development manager for Praxis Packaging, so local manufacturing. So I am in charge of all of the career operations as well as what goes on for training and development and career coaching. So super, super fun. So that's where I currently have, but I'm about eight years in HR and I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And so you have, as an HR expert, you have a lot of knowledge of career coaching. And were you a career coach then?
I am.
Oh,
Yep.
You are a career coach. Awesome.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that and tell me, as a career coach, what is the biggest mistake that you saw young professionals making early in their career?
Yeah. So as a career coach, I went into that piece of HR and organizational development because it's truly a need, right? People don't know until they know it, right? When they're in an internship or when they're in an interview, it's almost, by the time you figure it out, it's almost too late. So I found that passion space to be completely riveting and necessary for any type of career development growth. So when it comes to any mistakes or any things that you wish you could learn ahead of time, I would say definitely know what's on your resume before you walk into the door, right? Know what's in your resume because especially with today's world and AI, you can manipulate and change things. It has to sound like you because your resume can get you in the door, but you get the job. It's what you say on the phone screen in front of you. So make sure your authentic self plays out on paper. If you spruce it up, just make sure we're meaning with intentionality and reality as well.
That's great. Absolutely. And you mentioned a little bit earlier about your experience as an intern and realizing that you loved it. So talk about what it might be like for a young professional who starts their internship and thinks, oh, this is not what I want to do. What advice would you give them?
So I did. I had a great internship program. Mentioned it earlier, right? I had a great internship program, but it was because the person that sat with me had asked me, what do I want to get out of my internship first? What is important to me? How do I learn? What would I like to learn? What would I like to know? And for me, that was being taken into all the meetings and seeing all of the things, right? And not all internships have that experience. And sometimes if I hadn't been asked that question, I probably wouldn't have had a great experience, right? If I would have been more of the background noise versus front and center learning, I wouldn't have had a best experience. So I would say if you're not quite sure of the internship that you want to have, speak up and let's have a conversation about it. If you're not getting the most fulfilling experience that you should, because sometimes you only get one internship. So it's up to you to make it, and you're only there for a certain period of time. So it's really up to you to make it what you want it to be. And that starts with transactional communication to make sure it's a one-way not just a one-way conversation, but a two-way conversation in all contexts.
Absolutely. That's beautiful advice. And what do you think is the best way that a young professional can set themselves up for success right out of college?
Right out of college, I would say find yourself a community. Find yourself a community. That's what did it for me. I love being surrounded by like-minded individuals who want the same things. And for me, I found that in the Grand Rapids Junior Chamber. Truly, it's an organization for young people to just make positive change. And if you're looking for a sense of community involvement, to whether that's better yourself in your professional or individual development, or having a sense of gratitude when it comes to giving back to the community and bettering yourself, being around like-minded individuals who have a passion space for the same things that you do is a powerful movement. And it's still something that so many people are still looking for. So find your community. It was the best thing I could have done.
That's awesome. So you are the president of the Junior Chamber. Is that
I
correct?
am,
Amazing.
yes.
So tell us how you first got involved.
So I was lost. Let me tell you, Karen, I was lost and looking for a community, truly. And fresh out of college, there's that very much what's next. You go from a sorority or a group or a club or a sports team, and then you're just off into the wild, right? What comes next? So for me, I went to a networking group and someone tapped me on the shoulder and they said, this is a networking group, but I feel like you're truly built for more because you want to actually do stuff in the community. And I said, yes, I do. Where do I sign up? Where do I go? Right. And so then I found myself at the Grand Rapids Junior Chamber, and that was a sense of community when it came to actually being the doers of the community, making the positive change, making the change happen, and not just sitting on the sidelines, because we love Grand Rapids because there's so many networking opportunities. But sometimes it's a hard find when you're looking for a certain type of community to actually, outside of just generic volunteer opportunities, because those are wonderful, those are great. But how do I better myself in the professional development space? And that is how I found myself. And I've been a member of that for about 4 years now, and I currently serve as the president, and is one of the greatest honors and privileges of my life. So
that's amazing. Can you tell me about some of the projects that the Junior Chamber works on?
Yeah. So some of the projects that we're working on is this year, I believe it'll be August this year. Don't quote me on that just yet, August and September. But we're going to do one of our signature events, our charity fashion show. So we did this back in 2024, and we partnered with Studio Core at the time. And it truly put Studio Core and the fashion industry for Grand Rapids on the map in the industry. Now, Studio Core and other companies do things at New York Fashion Week. But what our event was, charity fashion show, back then was for the nonprofit, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. But this year, we're really picking a different nonprofit. So if you have any nonprofits who are looking for a chance of partnership and just for a really good cause, having a charity fashion show where the proceeds go directly to that nonprofit, but then we get to run it as our members, right? So I don't know about you, but I don't have any money to go to New York Fashion Week, but I can do it right here in my city, working with local partners.
Bring it home to us. I love that. That's awesome. So you talked a little bit about the professional development opportunities at the Chamber. Can you talk a little bit more about those and what resources are available to members to help them develop professionally?
So point of clarification, do you mean the Grand Rapids Junior Chamber or the Chamber itself? I just want to make
Grand
sure,
Rapids
Karen.
Junior Chamber. Grand Rapids Junior Chamber.
Yeah, so what professional development opportunities lie at the Grand Rapids Junior Chamber for young leaders of the community? Really a sense of, so of course we're a 100% volunteer-led organization. So the board of directors is a completely volunteer-based. So if you're looking for a chance to have a seat at the table, I grabbed that seat when it was presented to me, and it's hard to give it up, let me tell you. So that's a chance to grow your leadership skills, to understand, especially if you're working in the nonprofit space, running a nonprofit board has been extremely beneficial to my career, to understand how the logistics work and how those pieces fit in a bigger picture of my everyday when it comes to my career. So definitely being involved with board opportunities as well. We also have the committee opportunities. So we're not just volunteering at the projects, but we get to run the projects or the events. The projects is what we call them for our verbiage, but the events per se, right?
That's great.
So if you're looking in to do operations, manage a long scale budget of thousands of dollars, community engagement, philanthropy, social reach out, working with the city, those are all opportunities. Running a project or an event, you can build those on your resume and say, hey, I haven't done this at work, but I've done this at this nonprofit that I'm currently a part of, and it fits on my resume. We're all about developing those transferable skills, and that's what the Grand Rapids Chamber has done for me, and that's how I dedicate my career to the jumpstart of what I did. So,
that's great. That's fantastic. So you talked a lot about developing professionally, and I know that the Junior Chamber does a lot with developing leadership. Can you talk about the advice that you would give to other young professionals looking to become leaders specifically?
Oh my goodness. That is one of my favorite questions, I would say. I would say some of the best advice that's ever given to me when they're looking to become leaders is to just solve the problem that's put in front of you. That's some of the best advice that I've ever given, because in every single situation, you are asked to solve a problem. We all have jobs because there's a need, that we all have something to solve, something to accomplish. And when you're in leadership, it's important to be able to understand the problem, because then you can understand your people. Nurturing and fostering people's why behind they do things. Typically, they're trying to solve a problem or a skills gap or an operational gap that they don't currently have. For me, that was a community I didn't have that, so I sought that out, and now I have fixed that problem. Other young professionals who work to become leaders, they have the problem of developing themselves, so they seek out that opportunity. If you understand and seek to understand to fix the problem, you can truly accomplish anything if you just have that mindset.
That's a great mindset to have. That's great advice. So I want to talk to you a little bit about West Michigan Intern Connect.
Oh, yes.
I know you'll be there this summer. We're excited to have you back. So obviously, West Michigan Intern Connect is the largest intern conference in the state, and we're excited to be bringing it to the Amway Grand Plaza this summer on June 10th.
How exciting.
So we're really excited to help these interns get connected to each other and get connected to the community, because we want them obviously to stay here in West Michigan and be a part of our great economy and be a part of our great community. So how would you recommend that these current interns get involved around West Michigan?
Absolutely. I would say number one is you want to expand your reach out and your network on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is it's like a mega Facebook. Everybody has one. If you don't have one, what are you doing? There's events on there, but then there's intentionality behind intentional reach outs as well. So I definitely utilize LinkedIn, and then utilize the local spots that are in our community, whether that's Hopcat, or Madcap, whether that's Social House, whatever that might be. Go to where the people are and they congregate, because people love West Michigan. And if you're looking to get involved in your community, go to the spaces. Maybe that's Rosa Parks Circle where people congregate, because for me, community is everything. And being around like-minded individuals who want the same things you do are an incredible way to start. People want to get to know you. They want to talk to you. They want to nurture you, and they want you to stay here because our city is amazing.
That's a great advice. And we've heard a lot from interns that they know networking is important. They know that it's important to build their networks, and that's really important, especially here in West Michigan. What is your best networking tip that might make it easier for young professionals to build those connections?
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to give you my holy grail for a networking tip. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I love your sweater. It is so cute. It's automatically goes down to a sense of comfortability.
Yeah.
Everybody, that works in any line. It works on anyone. If you're not wearing a sweater, maybe don't say the sweater,
yeah,
right?
That would be a little odd.
Compliments make people want to talk to you, and you automatically seem more approachable. Just make it authentic. If you don't like the sweater, don't tell them you like the sweater, but it gives you a sense of there's a human behind it, and it becomes a personal interaction. It doesn't become a sales pitch. The pressure goes down, and it becomes a sense of relatability to one person or another. Just talking about, oh my goodness, I got this from the farmer's market today. It was on sale, right? That's an easy conversation starter. And then you can go jump into, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. My name is Celeste. What's your name? And then we just go right into it, and it becomes less pressure and more conversational.
You talked a lot about LinkedIn, so I'd love to know how interns should best utilize LinkedIn. Do you have any advice for how to best network using LinkedIn?
I love LinkedIn so much. I do LinkedIn workshops quite often because I think it's such a tool that people underutilize. So I would say the number one tool that you can really use when navigating LinkedIn is to maximize your headline that you can use. There's always questions about, should I put what my profession is? Should I put my actual title? That is your title. That is who you are, what you do, what you want to be known as. I put Happiness Activator in my title because it's an attention drawer, and if I can walk away with someone having a smile on their face, that's what I do. So I identify as a happy activator, and that's what I do. But I also put HR guru and organizational development specialist or whatever that might be at the time. So because that is your first glimpse of what who you are and what you do outside of your picture. Make sure your picture is engaging as well, but your tagline, that's a sense for you to have that sense of creativity and who you are and what you want to be, even if that's something than what your physical job is at the time.
I think that's great. And I think that that's accurate to you, Happiness Activator. I feel like I've been smiling the whole time we've been talking. So that's very accurate. That's great. Amazing. So West Michigan, tell me a little more, are you from West Michigan originally, and how did you choose to live and work here?
I did. So I'm a West Michigan native. I actually went to Kennewick Hills High School. So born and raised here in West Michigan on the northwest side of town. And I chose to stay here because I currently reside in Kentwood, so still a piece of West Michigan, because the diversity that lies in our city is truly unmatched. And it's also nice that you can go 15 minutes either way and find any type of environment, whether that's a farm, a city, whatever you want to do. But the diversity is truly what led me here. The amount of community events that foster our different languages and ethnicities and cultures, whether that's the Hispanic Festival, maybe that's the Pride Festival, Hispanic Heritage Month, whatever you want to celebrate, we have something for it because our community is our pride. And that's why I stay here and I choose to raise my children here.
That's great. So West Michigan favorites. Do you have a favorite restaurant, favorite coffee shop? What's your favorite thing to do here?
I would say some of my favorite things to do here is, I'm sure we heard about it before, but the swing dancing at Rosa Parks Circle in the summertime. Even if you're not a dancer, if you like to people watch, there are some skilled people out there, but it's just, again, the live music, the environment, the dancing. Give me a dance floor and someone to talk to. I'm hooked.
That's awesome.
That's where I'm at.
That's great. Amazing. I think there's also Latin dancing at the Bob. Have you tried that out?
I have tried Latin dancing at the Bob. I believe that's on Thursday nights, right? And that's fun. They do a lesson in the beginning for the first hour, and then it's just open partner night, which is just a fun, low pressure way to learn some new moves. So if you ever go to a wedding, you're like, I know how to actually dance. There you go.
Absolutely. It's very fun. Lots of really cool, original, neat activities to do here. What about favorite restaurant and favorite coffee shop?
Favorite coffee shop, I would say Ferris Coffee. So good. They're local. They have a big, wide open space, big, beautiful windows. No complaints from me there. I would say favorite restaurant is probably Sanchez. Just so good. Give me a tapa and I'm happy. Food is my love language, ladies and gentlemen. It really is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's so fun because there's so much variety. We've heard Sanchez before, and that's great to hear. That's like a very popular favorite. I always notice that there's always a different answer with a coffee shop. I think every time I ask somebody that, they always have a different answer because there are so many.
There's so many
options. There's so many that I haven't tried. So it's like one of those things where you really have to like do your work to try all of them. You have to actively try to find all of them, which is awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Celeste. I really appreciated getting to know you a little bit more and hearing a little bit more about your career journey. Do you have any key pieces of advice or suggestions to give to our current batch of interns before we go?
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for you and The Right Place for having me today. It's truly been an inspiration to be a part of the mission of what you guys are doing here. And I would say for any fellow interns, I would say don't be afraid to be invited into the table. I would say make space for yourself at the table because no one's going to hand you anything, right? You have to be able to make space, be confident in yourself. And that comes with time. You don't have to have everything right away, but to know that you're showing up to learn and to grow and to be around like-minded individuals, that's the first step that so many others don't take. So kudos to you. Keep doing that. Keep showing up and believing in yourself and give yourself the opportunity. Don't wait for the door to come knocking.
That's great. And for interns or young professionals who might be interested in joining the Grand Rapids Junior Chamber, how can they do that?
Yes, they can absolutely contact us at grjuniorchamber.com. You can message me on LinkedIn, Celeste Ross. I'm there for that. But show up to any one of our events. They're always on the second Thursday of the month at 5:30 p.m. at the Grand Rapids Chamber building. So look for that. Put that cadence in your calendar. But we are always here ready to help you learn, grow, and develop yourself. I dedicate my start to my career to this organization, and it will do the same for you. I'm sure about it.
Thank you so much, Celeste. Thanks for listening to Intern Connect. If you haven't already, make sure you're registered for the main event, June 10th at the Amway Grand Plaza in Grand Rapids. It's the state's largest conference for interns, and it's going to be a day full of real conversations, real connections, and real opportunities. And the fun doesn't stop there. The Intern Connect social series keeps the momentum going all summer long with Bocce Night at Silva GR on June 16th and an evening at Millennium Park on July 15th. Head to hellowestmichigan.com to register and get all the details. We'll see you there.